My friends, let me ask you something right from the start. Have you ever had one of those days where no matter how much rest you got the night before, you just couldn't seem to shake off the tiredness? You wake up in the morning, move a little slower than usual, and by the afternoon it feels like you've already run a marathon, when in reality, you've only done the basics like making breakfast or reading the paper. For many of us, over the age of 60, that sluggish feeling becomes all too familiar. It isn't just about being sleepy. It's about energy, vitality, and the spark we want to hold on to as the years pass. That's exactly what today's message is about. Video topic. I'll share with you a story of a gentleman named Harold. He's 67 years old, a retired teacher, and someone who's always been full of life. His grandchildren adore him because he's usually the first to get down on the floor and play, even more energetic than their parents sometimes. But in the last couple of years, Harold started noticing that his energy wasn't the same. He'd try to take his evening walks, but halfway through he'd feel drained. Worse yet, he began losing that natural drive. He felt like he was slowing down in every aspect of his life. His wife noticed it, his kids noticed it, and he felt it every single day. When Harold came to see me, he was worried that maybe this was just part of getting old. He told me, "Dr. Easton, maybe I should just accept it. Maybe this is what being over 65 is supposed to feel like." And I looked at him, smiled gently and said, "Harold, age brings wisdom, but it doesn't have to steal your energy. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that bring the biggest difference." For those of you who may be new here, I'm Dr. Nolan Easton. For more than 30 years, I've been working with men and women just like you, helping them not only manage the challenges of aging, but thrive with strength, vigor, and confidence well into their later years. And over all these years, I've seen time and again that when it comes to health, vitality, and even intimacy, nature has often already given us the tools we need. We just have to know how to use them. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, "Doctor, I've tried so many things, vitamins, pills, special diets. How could a simple 100 milliliter drink possibly make any difference?" And that's a fair question. But let me tell you this. When Harold began taking this small, natural drink just 10 minutes before his evening meal, the changes were remarkable. Within 2 weeks, his wife told me she noticed his spark returning. He was walking longer without tiring. He started joking more. Even his sleep became deeper and more refreshing. That smile of relief on Harold's face, well, it reminded me why I've dedicated my life to helping seniors rediscover their best years. And here's the heart of it. The secret isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures. It's about giving your body what it craves in the right amount at the right time. Just 100 milliliters, less than half a glass, taken before the body settles into its nightly rhythm, can unlock energy reserves you thought were long gone. And for those of you who've been struggling with restless nights, low motivation, or even just feeling sluggish, this might be exactly the missing piece. Before I explain why this works so well, let me take a moment to ask something of you. If this message resonates, if you've ever felt the weight of low energy after 60, and you're eager to find a natural way back to vitality, then I'd like you to do 2 things for me. First, tap that like button and subscribe so you can stay connected to advice that's tailored for you. And second, write a simple yes or no in the comments below. Yes, if you believe energy can be restored even after 60, and no if you think it's just a natural part of aging. I promise you, I do read your responses, and they help me create advice that truly matters to you. Now, let's go back to Harold. What he discovered, and what I want to share with you today, is that our bodies, even at 60, 70, or beyond, are still capable of remarkable renewal. The cells in your body never stop responding to nourishment. When you give them the right blend of natural compounds, nutrients that support blood flow, balance hormones, and ease the nervous system, you unlock what I like to call hidden energy. It's the kind of energy that doesn't just let you walk an extra block, but also makes you feel present again in your daily life. Think about it this way. A car, even an older one, will run smoothly if it's fueled with the right grade of gasoline and maintained with care. Put the wrong fuel in or neglect it, and it sputters and slows down. But give it what it needs, and it surprises you with how well it can perform. Your body is no different. That's why a carefully chosen drink, taken at just the right time, can act almost like a tune-up. It clears out sluggishness, supports restful sleep, and leaves you ready to greet the next day with vigor. Harold wasn't the only one. Another patient of mine, Maria, who's 64, started drinking the same 100 milliliters before dinner. She had been struggling with restless nights, waking up 2 or 3 times, unable to fall back asleep. Within days, she began noticing her nights were calmer and her mornings were brighter. She said to me, "Doctor, I didn't realize how much energy I had been missing until I finally felt it come back." And here's something important. This isn't just about physical strength. Energy after 60 isn't only about walking faster or doing more chores. It's about mental clarity, emotional resilience, and even intimacy with your partner. Low energy affects all of these areas. When your body feels heavy and tired, your spirit does too. But when you begin to restore that hidden energy, suddenly the little things in life, like enjoying a grandchild's laugh or cooking a favorite meal, feel fuller and more joyful. That's why I want you to really take this advice to heart, because what I've seen, time and again, is that when seniors commit to these small, consistent habits, the changes ripple out into every area of life. Confidence grows, relationships deepen, and most importantly, the belief that life is winding down begins to fade. In Harold's case, after a month, he came back to me with a smile and said, "Dr. Easton, I feel like myself again. I can walk with my wife, play with my grandkids, and even enjoy evenings the way we used to." Those words meant more to me than he realized, because they captured exactly why I share this message with you today. It isn't about simply adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. So as we go along in this conversation, I want you to remember Harold's story. Remember that at 67, he thought he had to accept exhaustion as his new normal, but he was wrong. And you may be thinking the same thing today, but you don't have to. There are ways to bring back the vigor, the strength, and the spark that makes each day worth waking up to. And it can start with something as small, as simple, as 100 milliliters of the right drink taken just 10 minutes before your body winds down. Because sometimes, it's not about doing more, but about doing one small thing at the right moment that changes everything.
Let's continue with Harold's story, because it holds a truth that many of us need to hear. After he began drinking that small 100 milliliter portion in the evenings, his wife noticed something he didn't even realize at first. She said, "Harold, you're humming again." And he laughed when he told me this, because for years he had stopped humming while shaving in the morning or watering his garden. But when his energy started coming back, that simple little joy returned without him even thinking about it. That's the kind of transformation we're talking about. Not just energy in the muscles, but energy that touches your spirit. Now, I want you to understand why this is so powerful. After 60, our bodies process food and nutrients differently than they did at 30 or 40. Digestion slows. Hormone levels shift. Circulation isn't always as strong, and stress from years of living builds up in the nervous system. These changes can make us feel like our batteries drain faster than they used to. That's why timing becomes so important. You see, by taking in the right drink about 10 minutes before your body starts winding down for the night, you're giving your system exactly what it needs at a moment when it can actually use it. Instead of food or nutrients just sitting there, they're directed toward calming the nervous system, supporting blood flow, and helping your body prepare for deeper rest. And let's not forget, deep sleep is where real energy is built. If your nights are restless, or if you wake up often, you'll never feel fully alive during the day. That's what Harold was experiencing. His nights were broken, so his days were heavy. When he started drinking that 100 milliliter, not only did his body absorb what it needed, but it allowed his brain to release the natural hormones that keep us calm and help us sleep like we used to. The result? His mornings felt fresh again. This isn't theory, it's real, practical experience I've seen with countless patients over the years. A small, targeted choice can change how you feel, how you move, and how you connect with others. That's why I always tell my patients, don't underestimate the little things. Sometimes they're the most powerful of all. One of my patients, Eleanor, who's 72, shared a moment that still warms my heart. She said that before trying this, she often felt too tired to join her friends for their weekly card game. She worried she'd slow everyone down or that she'd nod off halfway through. But after a few weeks of drinking that 100 milliliter, she told me she was not only showing up, but she was the one reminding her friends not to cancel when someone hesitated. That confidence, that joy in being part of life again is priceless. I want to pause here for a moment and speak directly to you, my dear friends watching. Have you felt yourself pulling back from things you once enjoyed, not because you've lost interest, but simply because your energy isn't there anymore? If you have, you're not alone. And I'd like you to share with me in the comments below just a simple yes or no. Yes, if you've noticed that low energy is stopping you from living the way you want, or no if you feel you've been able to keep your pace. I read your answers carefully and they guide me in knowing what you need most from me in these videos. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe and tap the bell icon, not because I want numbers, but because staying connected allows me to keep sharing advice that matters specifically for you at this stage of life. Together, we build a community where energy, joy, and health after 60 are not only possible, but expected. Now, let's return to what makes this drink so effective. Think of your body as a garden. After 60, the soil may be drier, the roots a little slower to take in water, and the growth not as quick. But with the right care, water at the right time, nutrients placed when the soil is most receptive, that garden can flourish again. In the same way, this 100 ml drink works because it nourishes your body at the exact moment it's most open to receiving it. It's not about the size of the portion, it's about the precision of the moment. Another story that illustrates this beautifully comes from a man named Victor, 69 years old, who had been feeling so drained he thought twice about simple activities like walking to the park or even going out to dinner with his wife. He began this routine, and within weeks, he told me he no longer dreaded evenings. Instead of slumping into his chair, he found himself standing up to help with the dishes, offering to walk with his wife after dinner, and even planning small outings again. He laughed and said, "Doctor, my wife doesn't know whether to be happier about my energy or more suspicious about why I suddenly want to go out all the time." That spark, that playfulness, that's what real energy gives back to us. And you know what else? When your energy rises, your relationships change. The people around you notice, they feel it. Your partner, your children, your grandchildren, they see a lighter step, a brighter smile. And that's one of the greatest gifts you can give them. The reassurance that you're not fading, but still fully alive, fully present. So my message to you is this: don't settle for exhaustion as your new normal. Don't accept that slowing down must mean giving up. With the right care, even something as simple as a 100 milliliter evening drink can restore balance, support your sleep, and give you back the hidden reserves of strength you thought were lost. Because like Harold, like Eleanor, like Victor, you deserve mornings that feel fresh, days that feel purposeful, and nights that bring true rest. You deserve to wake up and say, "I'm ready for this day," instead of how will I get through it? And remember, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the age you're in while still living with the vitality and presence that makes life enjoyable. I've seen it in my patients, and I know it's possible for you too.
When Harold's energy began to return, something remarkable happened beyond his physical strength. His wife told me she noticed he was initiating conversations more often, sharing stories with their children, and even planning little surprises for her again. You see, energy is not just about the body, it's about the mind and the heart. When you're drained, your world shrinks. You conserve, you hold back, you stop reaching out. But when your body feels nourished, your world expands. You start to engage again, and life feels bigger. This is why I often remind my patients, never underestimate the power of restoring your inner reserves. The 100-milliliter drink we're talking about is not about filling your stomach, it's about feeding your cells, calming your nervous system, and encouraging your body to reset itself naturally. 10 minutes before winding down in the evening, it becomes a quiet ritual, a signal to the body, it's time to restore. That little pause, that small portion, works with your natural rhythm instead of against it. Think about how our lives change after 60. Many of us slow down not because we want to, but because our nights stop giving us the recovery we need. When you don't sleep deeply, your body misses out on vital repair work. Muscles don't recover as well, memory doesn't sharpen, and hormones that keep us balanced don't release properly. So what happens? The next day feels heavy. But when your evenings are supported with the right nourishment, you fall asleep easier, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed instead of drained. That is the true power behind this simple habit. Let me share with you another story that touched me deeply. There's a woman named Caroline, 66, who had been widowed for some years. She told me she often felt too tired to even leave the house for her book club, something she once loved. Her evenings became long and lonely, filled with television she barely paid attention to and restless sleep that left her groggy in the morning. When she began taking that small drink, she described it as if someone had gently opened a window in her life. She started sleeping better, yes, but more importantly, she started looking forward to her days again. She told me she had rejoined her book club, and for the first time in years, she volunteered at her local community center. She said, "Doctor, I didn't realize how much I was missing until I felt my spark come back." Friends, that's the point I want you to carry with you. Energy is more than the absence of tiredness. It is the presence of joy, participation, and connection. When you restore your hidden energy, you don't just walk further or sleep better. You smile more, you engage more, and you live more fully. I'd like to pause here again to ask you something. Have you noticed that when you feel tired, you tend to pull away from the people you love? And when you have energy, you naturally want to be around them more? If that feels true for you, let me know in the comments with a simple yes. If you found that fatigue hasn't really affected your relationships, you can say no. I read these comments personally, and they help me understand how energy affects your daily lives, not just in theory, but in the real, human way that matters most. And while you're here, please take a second to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. These are simple ways to stay connected, but more importantly, they ensure you don't miss the advice that can help you and your loved ones live fully after 60. Your support also helps me continue to reach others who may be quietly struggling, just like Harold or Caroline were. Now, let's think about why this works at such a deep level. Your body has what I call energy gates. These are natural points in your daily rhythm where your body is more open to receiving help. 10 minutes before settling in for the night is one of those gates. By drinking the right portion at that time, you're essentially telling your body, here's a tool to rest deeper, restore better, and wake stronger. When you miss that window, your body has to work harder through the night, and the result is restless sleep and sluggish mornings. Another man I worked with, Robert, age 70, came to me saying he had almost given up on enjoying golf, something he'd loved all his life. He wasn't able to finish 9 holes without feeling drained, and he thought his golfing days were simply behind him. After beginning this evening routine, he called me almost laughing, saying, "Doctor, I don't know what you did, but I just played 18 holes for the first time in 2 years, and I wasn't even exhausted." That joy in his voice was better than any laboratory result I could have measured. Energy after 60 is more than longevity. It's about reclaiming the things that make life yours. Whether that's playing golf, joining friends, walking with your partner, or reading to your grandchildren, the spark you restore in your body becomes the spark that lights up your life. And here's a truth I want you to remember. Your body, even now, is not finished. It still has the capacity to heal, to restore, and to give you back vitality. Age is not the end of energy, it's simply a shift. With the right support, your body can surprise you with how alive it still feels. So let Harold's humming, Caroline's laughter, and Robert's golf game be reminders to you. The life you love isn't behind you, it's right here waiting to be nourished. And sometimes all it takes is a glass no bigger than your hand, taken at the right moment to remind your body of what it's capable of.
When Harold first walked into my office, he carried with him the weight of resignation. He believed fatigue was his new normal, that slowing down was inevitable, and that his best days were behind him. Yet, just weeks after making this small but powerful change, drinking that 100 milliliter portion before the evening, he rediscovered not only his energy, but his zest for life. His wife saw it, his grandchildren felt it, and most importantly, he believed it for himself. That is the kind of renewal I want for each of you. What Harold, Caroline, Robert, and so many others discovered is this: energy after 60 is not a dream of the past, it is a reality of the present. But it doesn't come from pushing harder, from draining yourself with stimulants, or from resigning yourself to being tired. It comes from listening to your body, nourishing it wisely, and giving it the right support at the right time. That little evening ritual became more than a drink, it became a promise. A promise that each day could still be lived with vitality, purpose, and joy. I often tell my patients that health is like a lantern. Over time, if it isn't cared for, the flame can grow dim, but with the right fuel, even an older lantern can shine brightly again. That's exactly what this routine represents, adding fuel to your lantern so your days glow with the brightness you deserve. And when your energy returns, so does your confidence, your sense of independence, and the ability to live the way you truly want. One of my patients, Margaret, told me something that has stayed in my heart. She said, "Dr. Easton, when I started this, I thought I'd just sleep better. But what I didn't expect was how much better my mornings would feel. I sit on my porch with my coffee and I don't just feel awake, I feel alive again." That, my friends, is the gift I hope each of you will give yourselves. So I want to ask you one last time today. Have you ever thought that maybe your tiredness was permanent, that nothing could change it? And if so, does Harold's story give you hope? Please let me know with a yes or no in the comments below. I do read your answers and I take them to heart. They help me continue to shape these messages for you because my mission is to walk beside you as you discover just how full life after 60 can be. And if you found value in this message, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and tap that bell icon. Doing so not only keeps you connected to the advice I share, but it also helps spread this knowledge to other seniors who may be quietly searching for answers. Together, we build a community where no one has to face aging with fear, but instead with courage, wisdom, and vitality. I want to leave you with this thought. Your body, at any age, is capable of renewal. You are not defined by your years, but by the choices you make today. Harold chose to believe that change was possible, and he was rewarded with laughter, energy, and a return to the life he loved. You can make that choice too. So tonight, when you pour that simple 100 milliliter portion and take it 10 minutes before you rest, think of it as more than a drink. Think of it as a key unlocking your hidden energy, a gentle reminder that life after 60 is not about slowing down. It's about living with intention, with strength, and with joy. From my heart to yours, I encourage you to keep believing, keep caring for yourself, and keep choosing life. I'm Dr. Nolan Easton, and it has been my privilege to share this time with you. Until next time, may your nights be restful, your mornings be bright, and your days be filled with the energy and vigor you deserve.